Anashnabe Khuyinmik takunaravi Kitchisipimi Pivalliajut Tanajiluk CKCU 93.1 FM Anashnabe nunangani Tagaw Halabingani Turu Nedena Nilujuami Carlton Silatu Sivangini Tamani Adwami Tugu Ulumi Ipik Nurait Manilukti June 2 Uvanga Suta Pi Haktunga Ulumi to Sahatnakuru Takuninga Ships to Shore Mitsanut Broadreach Canada Mingakut Uhalanyatui Siarukani Tanatao Sakitichiu Ipiliutua Unkakinania Miyuta Tan imaginatively Lama Ulumi Tabanga Pirirutta Kaisiniaktu Hangatiukuvimu Aularia Hamma Tavunga Trantomi Taga Huyinmik Takunaktunu Uvagut TV mi Nalatunulu CKCU 93.1 FM Tamani Adwami Hammalu Takunaktuit YouTube ku Ikiakiviku Huyinmik Taga Kaisilaktatak CKCU iliniati chilaktut surusinit ilaurumayut tanni ukiuli hariartut tan mi 14 mu takko tabbani CKCU khallabingani atawsimmi pingayoammi iliniarajaqtut khanu takko naalautikkuria khanu pilirhatteria hammangata Tagaki to $325 to atawsimu inummi Tagga tabani Carlton silatu sivingani ilinia hatalaktut takununga CKCU kunnu Tanna July 27 to 31 tataritu Tagga pingasutuinait atuinnaulaktu July 6 July 10 mu takkoa suli inilit July 13 to 17, Amalu 20 to 24. Taga ilni panit ingutait ila khubiu taga khuvasitui nagahaktui tabani CKCU mi tukisigagu maguvi taga ckcufm.com mi ikiakivikku takuniarun naktuti. Hintanatau imaginative ullumi pirianiaktuit Torontomi tanna inunni ilauniartut taanna aipiliuttuva saqqitichiyut Kitchisipimi Pivalliajut taanna imaginative muuhataualaartuappik siarukkanni unikkaaniartu taatsumaumitsanu ammalu hanu pilirhattamanga saqqititchaqattarluni ajilurtaaqattalluni takkoa taavani imaginative mi takutsaaqattaniartut Nivinga Juliet takkoa takut ajilurtau hattayutana Shelby Liskmu Sana sakitichiyu Shelby ajilurtillugu Geo uyaraqi hablunami Tana miqsuqattatillugu Tana takutsaulaqtu taavani imaginative Torontomi June 4 nguliqpa Tannatau June 4 mi Walls akini inuk takutsaulaqmiyu taavani imaginative 6:15 unnu tanna takutsaulaqtut takattau tanna akini inuk ajilurtauniku taavani kalasi nunammi ngaqtunut taavani Denmark mi ajilurtaunikut tau taannanina paningua Skyberg saqqitichiyu taatsuminga ati takkoa June 4 takutsaulaqtut taanna Nivinga Juliet takutsaulaa for unnusakku taanna akini inuk 6:15 mi taannatau June 7 mi taavani senna piyeripalliatillugu imaginative takutsaulaamiyu wir sangittara taanna 7 unnuk takutsaulaartut taavani na taqqiyavimmi taanna ajilurtaunniku Zacharias kunummu taggaalianai takkua inuqativu ilauqataulaammata tama imaginative mi takutsautitsilluti takkuatsaao alianait iqalunni takutsatitsilaarmiyuit iqalunni June 18 ngulerpa 21 mu taamani iqalunni takutsatitsilaartalaartuut nijjausijartuni takkua ilaulaartut nayapi Ivana ammalu inuteq storage ammalu taanna beaches deer taanna nalunaikkutinga 2026 mu alianait saqqitiortanga taanna Nuxlindale mu pileriaujuminit taanna Nux arveamute takkuattao alianait 2026 mi pisinni atulluni takunnatitsiqattalaartut inui pisinginni ingertauqattatillugiit asianillu attiqaujeriarumaguvit taatsumaa alianait mitsaanut ikiaqqivikku takuniarunnartutit alianait.ca mu hubbalunniit alianait Facebook ngani tukiseriarunnarmiyuti ila takkuattao tamani Ottawa-mi tainna takunnavviik National Arts Centre mi niuvittitsiqattalaartuapiit June 7 ngulerpa 11 ullaassa 5 unnummu tainna taikanilaartuk Gail and David O'Brien atrium tagga takkua nunaqqaaqsimayunut sananguaraapiit niuviatsailaartut taavani National Arts Centre mi June 7 mi tagga taikungagumaguvviit National Arts Centre 1 Elgin Street mittu June 7 11 ullaassa matuilaartu 5 unnu pijarittaqqui taggattao tamani Ottawa-mi tungasuvinga inuit June 19 ngulerpa 10 ullaassa qulaanimmu taikkani katititsilaartuapiit Ottawa-mi takkua ippinniartummut attuajausimayut katititaulaartuapiit tungasuvinga inuit illuqjuangani 282 Dupuy Street mittu takkua tia ammalu Wellsprings takkuattao ipinniannu namminili tamani Ottawa-mit takkua katittui qanertuuqatikiyuit tungasuttitsilaartuapiit taikkani tungasivinga inuit ati taikungaagumaguvviit suvvalunni tukisigaagumaguvviit titirarunnartuti cancercare@tiontario.ca takkua June 19 10 ullaassa qulaanimmu 282 Dupuy Street milaartuit takkununga tungasivinga inuit the Ottawa Cancer Foundation ammalu Wellspring Cancer Support ati nerqatauriartugumaguvviit tavva tungasuttitsilaartuapiit taannattao June 8 ngulerpa tamani ilaanunerjualimaami taanna tariurjua ullurilaartanga June 8 tagga taanna ilisariauluru tariurjua ullungani takutsautitsilaartuapi taqqiyarunnariartulaartutit taikkani kisuinna June Sussex Drive mi to 50 Sussex Drive mi taanna ajilurtau nikku Indigenous Geographic mu saqqittitaulau atirik Echoes on the Ice taanna ajilurtaujuju Crystal Martin tainna Crystal Martin tamani Ottawa Valley mi pirunnikku ilalirealla sanerayammi Crystal Martin inuttituusuuraapit tagga indigenous geographic mi saqqitichau hattaqtut tagga takunnagumaguvi echoes of the ice iqalunni ajjiluqtillugi taanna Royal Canadian Geographic Society milaqtu June 8 taruqtua ullungani takutsaula 6:30 unnu 8:30 unnummu taavani 50 Sussex Drive tukisigagumaguvi uqaalaqunnaqtuti 613-299-8995 hubbalunni ikiaqqivikku rcgs.org ammalutakko Canadian Screen Awards takutsaulaqtui naatsiingoyumi atsutakko inuqativut ilisariaulaqtuit saalaqammarittuni pingasuuyuqtuni attaussilu takkoa North of North takkoa inuqatiguvu Alethea Anna Cook-Burrell, Stacey Agluk MacDonald, Tanya Tagak, Anna Lamb, Micah Harper takkoa ilisariaulaqtuapit pitaqtitaummarittut saalaqattuni takkuninga Canadian Screen Awards tanna North of North piliriauqattattut takkununga Red Marrow Media ammalu Northwood Entertainment CBC ku Netflix kulu takutsauqattaqtut tagga takkua taavani Canadian Screen Awards mi qatigilaum yangittau takkua Zacharias Kunuk niwaqtaulaq tuttau taatsumunga unik uirsangittara taanna niruaqassaularmijut taavani ammalu Teresa Happiana Lia Panimia takkua tau niruaqassaularmijut takkua ajjilu taulaqtut uirsangittarammi tannatau Louise Flaherty iqalummiu kangturapimmiu tatchaya saqqititchaqattamattau tagga niruaqtaularmijut Canadian Screen Awards kunnu ammalu tainna Tutu Jordan Tutu ajjiluqtaujumma tainnattau niruaqtaularmiju atsu quvianaqtut takkua saqqititchaqattaqtuapit inuttituurallaa taanna aipili uttuvaullumi tabbanittu ajjiluqtu saqqititchaqattaqtu taatsuminga Kitchisipimi Pivalliajut tagga unikkaakiinlangayut Toronto langammaullumi imaginative mu tagga aipili uttuva tungusu aipili tagga unikkaakiinnerunnaqi taatsuma imaginative sunniamangaapi taavani isumakku
coalition media kusaqqittilaumata niruagaksarimayuni imaginative laarumayuni titiqaqvigilaorsimagakki application piimallunga tatatare piyarilaqlugi niruaqtauroqama pingas tisamoniaqqortugu uvanga inudlunga ammaru adlaitaakku pingasulluti tisamoniartugu imaginative langnaartugu katimaqataqaqartorluta taikanittuni angilaangumma taanna festival adlaningaartu inungningaartu first festival angilaangumma taikunga katimayartu katikatakaartornaartugu taavanittuni
tuarianai tagga qanutigi saqqititchaqattaleqqitaatsumuga Utuva Productions
piyarataaroqtara January mi taismunga January min taimungani pileqattaqtunga piyarataarutikilortara production company ka
ku atsu tanna qanu ilinnialoorpiu saqqititcheria
sivullerpaami ajjileqattarisaarlunga ayunittiminaqiddugu piyaarumatukikutikilaarsumayaqa kisaani entrepreneur milinniaroqsuagama entrepreneur kun taikkunanga ajortortaulunga piyaarpungup piyaarumayorma taikkunanga pileqalaorlunga amma aperso kataklang nang minakaktuni kayo madlong kano nang minakang amaro kantiga ay pidira kakang mga amaro ayong naro kakatang maaperso kano kantigip pilirexet uno katang mata nang minakaktuni pilaktume takwa kayo jumi laukluge pigakum tigu la kayo jumi kakke pigakum ay lauks mayong
ja khuyun mitan nammini khaliravi taatsuminga Uvagut Productions tan Kitchisipi saqqititsimariapi aalawami khativut tan uhakkainaunnaqqittau ajjiluqtau qattagavi taatsumaramitsana khanu ajjiluqtau khattannimmagaappi
sevelak pa ajjiluqtau mayong June 2009 mutidlugo John Houston mitimotayong magma pigakut kilaks mayaga 2009 the White Archer tayo mga napikip ajilok tao kata manas ajilok tao kata man kisane ajilok yung nakso nakatira yung nakso kata lang ajilok yung nakso kata lang producer kata lang tako pidang naksa kata kadan ajilok tao kata
man ilinya kata gavita tatsuma sakititchiria mitsano
ilinya kata na atakakto film making indigenous management and business kisugara kaya film bagara pinaswakasit ko sa sakit ko natin may ko nakataktik ka nukangarok paglatipigyak ka nakpalit pinaswakasit sa rock na masivlak pakilok na mo ilinyak na votak ko kano pilagan ng may adjilo ka na pilagan ng mitak ko ng kanilo katang mga producers ilinyak na mo
okay dan taulumi piyariruttat takutsauniammiyu saqqititilaortai unikkausirikainnеруннаққиу
arwami festival takakatang matakkitama ilinnaarluta kanu ajiloorinang mitaakkunanga titirang ng mitaakkunanga ilinnaarlut idlute festival kakatang saagsakasuing kraarluti ilittuma itinip overni ajiloori maitinip tikakattakatta ilinnaaraqsi mi augaankan mi kringudluni aperiloks magakku ajileo katigimang gundang magakku ismagilorok takay takwa titikawsivu inuktityo Slavics krik ko ne pigak titikawsigiyaw dattakarang ma ayok suik ko ne ilitarok inung ilititawks mong mutan na ismaging wakligo kano ajileo kayo ng mga tayo sa magidlugo pigayarok sa maya sak tidok tavut kino arwang nakatoy mitamani arwami
okay so takko titkausi kri kunno atuktakka hattasimayu
ingon nakakatayo inuktitulda kayo ngito kri kuning titakaw sa kayo niko missionaries kun nitako ng editor inung edit niko nakakatakat ng mata
okay that's true so tan ajilo rakta ajilo khatigilokta ilina khatigiya yo khanu
aka tekani kino arwami ukadla katigilok sugo ajilo khatigiya may lawak ko ang kating mga ajilo katigilok ta
good okay right on tagga ukakkan ni umabi biusi mayitin ni
kanilang pinasugo magkataw ajilo ko nang may pinasukat ta rin ukaro ta karamad luni atoklutin luni takwa ilinna ko tiyo nakmata ajilo ko tiya atong kurakluge ukaro takarak ko nakatira yung naksit lakavit ukaro takarak ko music lak kung naksit lakavit ako ukaro takarak ko pilirek yung naksit lakavit ajilo ko nang ilinnak ng mata ko ng YouTube ko tawtarakluti nang minirka tayo mo na ilis mo yung YouTube ko tawtarakluge ilipadliak taktak ko nakatira na ukaro takarak ko pilirek naksing mahat ayong nangin naksarot kawi ko view nakatira na ukaro tara kakasaya ko ilit adjiparo kang mago so pigya ako magpigakit
takko ajilo hattaguvi saqqirunammiyu takku tamani Kitchisipimi Pivalliajumi tagga khuyunnami tema ajilo hattagavi malu taavunga Toronto lealuruvi khangattiani aquti
khuyunnami
tanna tagga aipili Uvagut Productions me saqqititchiqattaqtu taatsuminga Kitchisipimi Pivalliajumit taakkununga Uvagut TV mu I believe Trantolianiartuut imaginative me katimakatauniartuapit taikkua ajjiluuqattartuapit nunaqaqsimayut alianait tanna khairialormitta pinguartuni tamani aluami ammalu takkua haakippattut iqiana Montreal Canadiens pinguarunnimmata hattu quvianaxattaleortut pinguatillugi takkua Las Vegas ammalu Carolina Hurricanes tuulertui Stanley Cup taarasuaqattanialertualui takkutta World Championships atsuut Switzerlandmi pinguartaulaortui haakkiqattatillugi takkua Finland saalaqalaortuut takkua Kanatakku saalama yurulu taqqui Norway kunnu savireetaangimmaриттui Kanatakku takkuattau tamani pinguaqattalaalimmatаттau aaluami June 2 ullumi takkua basketball pattut Ottawa Blackjacks pinguaniartuit Banditsku unnu June 4 mittau pinguakannilaartui takkua Blackjacks ammalu Sea Bears tamani June 4 Ottawami takkua pinguaqattartui pinguavitjuami Lansdowne takkuattau 6:30 unnu matuiqattartu piriaasittaqqui pinguasiqattaqqui 7:30 takkuattau Ottawa Red Blacks ammalu Edmonton Elks 7 unnu pingualaartualuit home opener takkua 6:30 matuilaartut ammalu piriasittaqqu pinguasittaqqui 7 unnumi taanna home opener uniartu quvianaruna taavanittau Lansdowne pinguaqattarmiyuit takka Lansdowne pinguavitjuanga tukittu qattalaaleqtuit Athletico pingualaartuit taikani June 9 ngulerpa FC Super du Quebec pinguaqatigilaartangi takkua Athletico June 9 ngulerpa taavanisainna Lansdowne pinguavitjuangani takkuattau FIFA maannarulu pirialaavalimmijuut takkua Canada ilaulaaptuappiit June 11 mi Canadakku pingualaarmiyut taatsumiut FIFA mi World Cup takkuatta Volleyball Nations League tamani Ottawaami pinguaqattalaartut June 14 tamani Ottawaami takkua ilaulaartut Canada, Italy, France ilangillut saqayimangittakka ai maannarulu takkua Broad Reach Canada miingattut uqaalanniartui taanna aulti juanga Marguerite Baron ammalu Farah Shidhedid taanna piliqattartut taatsuminga Ships to Shore tagga Broad Reach Canada taanna pilirianga Ships to Shore 2019 mi saqqittittau yuyu taanna Ships to Shore taitsumini 2019 mi 7,000 nik makkuttuni iliniaqattaqsimaliqtu taatsumunga ilaahattaliqtu simayut qanu aularia taanna umia aulatausuut anurimu tagga Ships to Shore makkuttuni iliniatitsipattut qanu umiammi taikkua anurimu aulatausuut qanu piliqattariahammangaata ammalu takkua makkuttuit 12 ni ukiuhaqpa 30 mu ilaurunnartut taatsuminga Ships to Shore 10:30 muqpa takkua Marguerite Perron ammalu Farah Shachaid uqaalariaqaniartuit unikkaaniartuit qanu ilagunnamagaata inuit tagga Carlton siluttusivit juangani ajjiluuqtaujugu tan Carlton mi ilinniagumanniguvi IESP imaanna taanna IESP nunaqaqqaaqsimayunut ilinniagumayunut Carlton mu atuqtorialla tagga tatatigialit atuinnaavuk ikkiaqqivikku carlton.ca mi takko qaalabullaimata giukainnallaru. Hello CKCU. Yes, is this Farah? Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll put you. We're gonna go on right now. Yeah. Yeah, suilat uqalajuapitanna Farah.
Yes. Hello.
Takwa Broad Reach Canada mingaqtut. Unikkalangayui takna Farah ammalu Marguerite tusoqsava.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Are both Marguerite and Farah on the line?
Yes, we are.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us here on the Kitchisipimi Pivalliajut in the CKCU studio here in Ottawa.
Sure. Thank you for having us.
And we were just talking about the program Ships to Shore that Broad Reach Canada has founded. Are you able to tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So let me just start by telling you who Broadreach is. Just very briefly, for context, we are a Canadian charity. We're about 30 years old. We were founded in 1998, and we prioritize equity-seeking youth in our programs. That includes Indigenous youth, that includes newcomers to Canada, communities of people of color, to LGBTQ plus communities, and youth who come from low-income or disadvantaged families. So we operate coast to coast. That means that although we are based in Toronto, we operate nationally. So about Ships to Shores, it's a project that's designed by Broadreach Canada, but it's supported by the Government of Canada through the SDC. It's a project that engages youth who are aged 12 to 30 years old to build maritime skills and leadership skills, and provides range of transferable skills that the youth can use in their jobs wherever they go. We help them build their skills through maritime activities, and that means that participants participate in sail training to build those skills that I just mentioned, and that can happen on small keel boats in Toronto or big tall ships around Canada.
Important component of our program is community service. Sarah, could you speak to that?
Of course. So in general, if you think about the project, there are two phases to the project. First, as I mentioned, the youth will go sail training, but then the biggest aim or the biggest goal of the project is the second goal, which is, as Marguerite mentioned, the community service. Each participant will commit to a 120-hour placement that includes some time from the sail training session, but mostly from the community service project that they will carry in their communities. The project can be anything that the participant chooses to do. It can be any cause that they care about. Broadreach Canada will support, our team will provide support to the youth as they design their projects and implement them. So basically, during their time on the boats or the tall ships, the participants will be also planning, and they'll be first thinking about the needs in their communities, and they'll be planning their projects with help from our team.
Okay. What's also important to mention, if I may, is that this project, the project activities are fully subsidized, so the participants get their transportation paid, they stay on the vessels, their training, and their food.
Oh, very nice. Okay. And what are some of the examples of the project's community initiatives that previous participants have done?
So there are so many options. I'll mention a few, but that doesn't have to be what they choose to what the applicants choose to do. So there are 4 pillars to the project, 4 themes, right? So there's youth resilience, there is reconciliation, there is environmental stewardship, and there is diversity and inclusion. So the project that the participants will choose to do and design and implement has to align with at least one of these 4 pillars, but it can also, of course, align with more. For example, some participants they have a skill and they want to help younger youth build that skill. So that's something they can do. For example, if they're good in football and they want to work with underserved youth, run a camp, for example, they definitely can do that. We had lots of participants do that with skills like swimming. We had football, jiu-jitsu. Some participants were good in academics, so they wanted to run. They offered math tutoring to youth for every week in a row. Some participants choose to work with organizations, like an established organization that has programs. So they volunteered, for example, a few hours every weekend for a few months to do that. And the purpose, basically, from spending a lot of time in a specific project, is that the participants will build some kind of expertise along this project for the duration of the project. So basically, they would have something valuable to put on their resume. And just imagine if you're now graduating from school and can say that you have 120 hours of volunteering in something specific, like helping with the library or tutoring youth or environmental stewardship activities. That's something that adds value to your resume.
Yeah. Okay. And where will the youth be learning it on shore and on the ship?
Well, we have partnerships with Canadian youth sail training organizations outside of Toronto, and those organizations operate full ships. The youth are welcome to register. There is an online portal on our website that's specific to this purpose. Correct?
That is go.broadreachcanada.ca. Again, that's go.broadreachcanada.ca.
Okay.
And those vessels that I mentioned earlier will provide the sail training experiences to the participants on the Great Lakes, on the Great St. Lawrence River, the Great St. Lawrence Bay, and along the Atlantic coast.
Wow. Okay. And would the youth select their itinerary, or is it based on
That's
what's
right.
available? Wow.
No,
Okay.
they selected the sessions that are appropriate to their time, their calendar, and their interest. And in Toronto, as Farah mentioned earlier, we run the largest component of this project, close to 150 youth each season, and we do that on a large scale keel boats in 3 locations. Well, actually, no, 1 location in Toronto, yes.
Okay. And how many go on board the tall ships?
Well, the total this year, the goal is 301. So if you deduct 144 from 301, you'll get the balance.
Okay. Very nice. Well, is there what's the best way to apply is through the online portal?
So just before I get there, I just want to highlight the eligibility criteria for everybody
yes.
hearing us. If you're interested and if you're committed to the placements that we mentioned, if you're interested in learning how to sail, please do apply, because we're now screening applications on a running basis. Eligibility criteria is basically age, as I mentioned. You have to be above 12 or above, and 30 or under years of age. You need to be a Canadian citizen, a permanent resident, or a holder of an official refugee status in Canada. And as I mentioned, the commitment is a big piece of for us, specific both to the sale training programming and the community service that's after. And how they can apply is just go to our website, go.broadreachcanada.ca. I can spell that if you want. go.broadreach Canada.ca. And then you'll just be able to fill out the application, and then we'll contact you in no time.
There's a bit of a pitch that I would appreciate being able to make, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get to know Canada as our country from the water. Not many opportunities like this exist, and when they do exist, they're usually inaccessible because they are expensive. So this is an opportunity for this population, this target population, to get to know Canada from a different perspective and get to know themselves and discover their identities and new surroundings to which they have not had the access because of the socio-economic situation.
Okay. And that's we're gonna have to wrap up our interview. Thank you very much for joining us on the Uvagut TV and CKCU 93.1 FM to tell us about ships to shore.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. I hope you have a good rest of your day, Marguerite and Farah.
Thank
Thank
so
you.
much.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. Hey, Takwa Farah. Chahi Tamaru Marguerite Parent. Ukhalagatak Broadreach Canada meet. Unikao siratak tat mga ships to shore. Makutunu ilinyaro mayunut. Hanu aulare tat kwa umiak galat. Stek kwa taluk joa me atukatak tut anurimu aulatauluni. Tagga ilinyaro naktut. Inihak inuit. Tagga go.broadreachcanada.ca me tatatigiali api. Hila tagga ilinyaktunuttao kinawayakaktu takwa Hullik Energy Corporation 2026 scholarship program me takwa $5,000 takaswarunaktut makunni Laura Ulugat TV scholarship haktuit takwa malu makunni noa panuyak scholarship kamiyut takka ilinyaqtunu kino taarasuarumayunut takka QEC kunni tutsirunnaqtuapit ila itagga isuatik ilerimma Khuyunmik takunnaravi Uvagut TV mi malu naalattunu CKCU 93.1 FM tanna piyarirutta takunnanniartavu ajilurtaulartu aiuttuvamu ammalu takwa naalautimmi tusaqsau nidjausiartuni tusaaxattuniartugu takwa aliane muulaartuapit tusaakinnalangivut ammalu ilitsinni tusaagumagupugut tagga unikkaatsaxaguvi tusauma xaguvit qanutuinna titirarunnartutit news@uvagut.tv ila tagga ajinguanittau tuyigumaguvit tagga saqqitigunnartavut tanna aulatilugu news@uvagut.tv tagga khuyunnamik takunnerataagovit Kitchisipimi Pivalliajut tagga khuyunnamik aipaliuttuvamu saqqititsiyut ajilurtu takkotta Montreal mittut piliriyut Uvagut TV mi takutsautitsiyuapit khuyunnamik takkoa misummarit taavanittut tagga takutsaukannilaartut Kitchisipimi Pivalliajut takutsaukannilaartut pingayuammit June 9 ngulakpa tanna nurait manniluqti June 9 takuchaula tabang asainna Carlton silattusevangani tan ullasakku ila tagga tusaqattaniartavu takuchaaqattammiyu ckcufm.com tanna tusaaqqannirumanniguviuttau tagga takuchaulangalertu manna takuchaurunnarsiva okay tagga tanna aipileapeqitaagakku tanna ajilulaartanga takuchaurunnarsimanga angirataartuapit ruinnamik takunnarataagavi uqartiuyunga siutiapi
What are you doing down there? What are you writing?
Writing journals.
I see. Where are you from?
Uvagut.
Can you write thank you in your language or something like that? Oh, wow. It looks similar to Cree.
Is it?
Huh. Yeah. Did you know that the missionaries learned the syllabics from us?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
How do you say thank you in your language?
Kuinamik.
In my language, we say "Kinanaskamadan." All right, bye.